Howdy, y'all. It's Curious Raven on day 6 of Advent. I hope everyone is doing good. We are halfway through Advent. We have 6 more days, and that means 6 more days until Christmas. My throat is still sore. I'm still a little under the weather. I am joined by P.A.NIGHTMARES, one of my really good friends. Just go and show him some love on his channel. I'll leave the channel link down below. Number 1. I posted this story prior on here before. I have a 3-year-old, and we were at my partner at the time's house, who, yes, indeed, his house is extremely haunted. And I was aware of it. Only ever had minor things happen to me, such as lights flickering off and on, stuff going missing and never appearing again, and the massive feeling of being watched from the living room while in the kitchen now. My daughter and her father were in his room that is located in the basement, and we were hanging out in there, and I was on the bed, and now my daughter does know what ghosts are. But this experience shook me to the core, so anyways. They were playing, and suddenly she stopped and wanted her dad to pick her up, and started losing her mind. She isn't really the clingy type to him. And she burrowed her face into his shoulder and started losing her mind, screaming and saying ghost by his door. And it scared me, as this is my first real ghost encounter. So I tried to keep a straight face and not show my fear. I grabbed her, put her on the bed, and then told her to say for it to go away, please. And it did indeed go away. I just had to share this one more time because this is certainly something I can't get over. And now the ghost in particular she was talking about was his uncle who passed away of a heart attack against his basement door. Number 2. Writing this, it happened about 5 minutes ago. To preface this, I've had very little sleep each day this week due to work, birthday events, and life. Around 5 to 6 hours each night from my usual 7 to 8, 9 hours. I also consumed cannabis last night, but I'm completely stone cold sober. But I am taking this experience with a grain of salt due to the above circumstances. 10 minutes ago, I am laying awake in bed. I look to the corner of the glass wardrobe, and I relax my sleepy eyes. There's a pink jumper that I'm looking at. I'm noticing I'm starting to hear it move or rustle. As soon as I sort of pay attention or unrelax my eyes, it stops. I found it amusing, so I kept going. As I continued, I saw a face peeking around the wardrobe. Kind of scared me in a way, because obviously I'm seeing a random face, but it also didn't, because I know it's not real, and I snapped myself out of it. I just decided to continue letting my brain relax to see this follow through. One last time, I look at the wardrobe while relaxing my body, and I hear rustling in the wardrobe on the floor. My whole body starts to tingle, and my heart starts beating. I'm aware that I am really tired and purposely maybe playing tricks on my own brain. And suddenly I hear steps on the floor. Real quickly, I felt the presence of a dog. I heard it panting and breathing in a mellow sound. It walked up to the bed, jumped on it, and started moving around behind my pillow. It felt very real, and it even felt like the pillow was being stepped on by paws. It was pretty scary, but at the same time comforting. It was around this time last year that my pet dog and my best friend passed away. He was coughing too much, and I didn't want him to go through that pain anymore. Whether this was my mind and me purposely playing tricks on myself, my body being sleep deprived, or that fact I consumed cannabis last night coupled with sleep deprivation, or a ghost, that was a neat experience that I hope maybe some of you have some similar stories to share. Thanks. Number 3. For the past few months, my wife has been hearing a doorbell in the middle of the night every so often. I actually disconnected our doorbell when I installed a Ring doorbell on the house. We also have 2 dogs that would definitely bark if they heard it, so I assumed it was just a dream. Fast forward to last night. For some reason, I didn't sleep deeply like I normally do. Sometime around 3 a.m., we both heard the doorbell noise she's been telling me about for months. Our dog was on the floor next to the bed and didn't budge. I thought maybe the answer was that the sound actually came from an Amazon Echo Dot we have, but I checked and it wasn't. Now I don't know what to think. I never really given much thought to whether ghosts or spirits are a real thing or not. I'm curious to hear others' thoughts on and what the hell is going on. Number 4. This is literally still ongoing. Basically, a few days to a week ago, we suddenly heard 3 very loud knocks at like 4 in the morning. I got dressed and came downstairs. I heard my dad ask who was there before opening my front door, but nobody was there. My dog always barks whenever he hears a noise or sees a person. He was actually cowering in the front room, which was worrying. For context, I'm 18 years old and living with my parents. We don't live in the best area. There have been burglaries on my street recently, so my dad actually went into the kitchen to get a serrated edge knife. He told me to wait in the hallway while he checked our back garden. There was no one there. I came out, we looked around, and nothing was disturbed, nothing misplaced or anything. My dad double-checked outside of our front door and street. Nobody was there either, as he initially saw, so we just went back to bed. A few days before the incident, he had kids, like 13 to 16-year-olds, knocking on our door and running away. So that's what I originally assumed this to be the following morning. So ever since this, nothing else has actually happened. However, my dog just absolutely refuses to go out into our back garden, which is where we thought the sound came from. Actually refuses. Whenever my mom or my dad try to let him out to use the toilet, he literally cowers and hides. This is really weird, and it's nothing like him at all. To call him an outdoor dog would be an understatement. Whenever we used to even go to the back door, he would actually try to push past our feet to get out first. If anyone could offer any rational explanation that could help us, that would be graciously appreciated. I don't believe in paranormal stuff at all, but my parents are kinda into that stuff. I looked it up and apparently 3 knocks early in the morning could be a sign of demonic activity. Many thanks. Number 5. Hi, I've never posted before. I'm not sure where to start, as I could write a book of all my experiences. I don't necessarily want my post to blow up. I am more so looking for other people's opinions. Let me preface this with, I'm mortified of dolls. Porcelain, little baby dolls. Sometimes even just teddies or toys. Dolls make me want to exit my body from fear. Now this is leading up to why. I grew up in an extremely haunted duplex. This duplex could have a book written on it. What I'm explaining doesn't even touch the surface. It's just grazing. You see, I have a very little memory of this duplex since I was about 6 to 7. My family lived there for 2 years, but it felt like an eternity. I have a couple memories, most of which being paranormal. But because I remember so little, I've been really wondering, did something happen with a doll that I've repressed? I'm sure a lot of people have family members who gift the new babies in a family a porcelain doll. I was born in 95. No idea if people still give newborn porcelain dolls or if it's just a Greek thing. Either way, I had this porcelain doll in a light blue dress. white frills, curly blonde hair, attached to a swing. She never came out of the box until I was around 10 or so. I also loved the big comfy couch. I had a little Molly doll with a plastic head, yarn hair, and stuffed body. She had these cardboard pieces you could put in a bow or thought bubble or something. I was obsessed with Molly growing up. She was my favorite doll when I was really small. I don't really remember playing with her, but my mom said she was glued to me. She definitely looked very loved. I just don't remember. Anyway, sorry this is so winded already. So after moving into my new home, years and years ago by, and I am digging through my Teddy's toy box. I find Molly and I'm excited. I have always slept with far too much on my bed, even to this day. My bed is all pillows, squishmallows, and a massive body pillow. I felt connected to Molly all of a sudden, so she stayed on the corner of my bed against the wall and bed frame. She stayed like that for a few months until I started having these nightmares. If you've had messed up dreams, you know where you're in someone's house, but it isn't how the house is necessarily set up. It was like that. My cousin's bedroom was where my uncle's bedroom was. Remember, this is a dream. I'd walked into my cousin's bedroom and Molly would be kind of laying sitting against my cousin's pillows. The room was pink and purple, very girly. The sun was setting. The room looked pretty. I entered the room and my attention was immediately drawn to Molly. I felt so uncomfortable and on edge. By that point, I'm walking into her bedroom. I have this nauseating, horrible feeling hit me. Anxiety hits hard. I can't look away from Molly. When suddenly, of course, she slowly stands, still facing away from me. She's looking to my right, straight ahead. She alleviates up and starts to turn towards me. The room goes dark and I'm sprinting to the light switch. Can't find it. Once I do, it doesn't work. I grab the door and feel her behind me. I throw the door open and run down my uncle's hallway. I turn and see her floating behind me. My grandma, my dad's uncle's mom, is at the end of the hallway. She isn't dead, by the way. I run to her. Her eyes are red and she is just staring ahead. I'm screaming at her to do something. And then I jolt awake. Normally sprinting to my light switch, terrified it wouldn't turn on. She was on my bed when this first started happening, remember? I had that dream a few times. Each time some stuff altered, but it was always the same. Until I got so fed up of these dreams, this loophole, I jumped down my uncle's stairs that passed the hallway. There were 20 plus steps. When I dived down, my head hit the ceiling part that leads you to the stairs. I'm pretty sure I broke my neck or something, but the last time I had that dream, I dove down the stairs and died. After these reoccurring nightmares, I tied Molly in a pillowcase and threw her under my bed. I still don't feel safe, so she ended up in the crawl space. When my family moved nearly 10 years later, my mom took her out of the crawl space and started to cry, like laugh cry. But because I was so uncomfortable, I ended up giving her away. Turns out those Molly dollies can cost a lot nowadays. The duplex I lived in had a demonic entity. It approached me as a childhood dog when I lived in the duplex. I don't know if the demonic entity tortured me via toys and dolls. Now, the porcelain doll, I had her on my wall hanging on her swing, but I would stare at her all night expecting her to turn her head, float, crawl to me, the stereotypical horror movie stuff. I ended up throwing her in something and into the crawl space. I got rid of her too. I know it's rude since it is a baby gift, but I cannot stand dolls. Number 6. My cat has been dead for 5 years. Sometimes when I sleep, my cat visits me. I know it's my cat because she always does this thing where she'll headbutt my chin, bury her head in my neck. This morning she woke me up by doing just that. I opened my eyes and saw a clear, fuzzy figure above my face, and I had felt her. While she was dancing on my chest, she made me move my neck to the left side of me. I saw a figure holding a scythe. He was cloaked, and his face wasn't clear. And I was thinking, am I going crazy? But I went back to sleep, enjoying the sound of my cat purring in my ear again. I think I saw the Grim Reaper, but who knows? I looked up people who may have had similar stories to mine, and we all have seen the same dark figure.
Hey everyone, I wanted to share this spine-tingling experience that happened to me during my sophomore year of high school. It was around fall, and my then boyfriend and I were watching Ender's Game at my place. We were at home because my mom was at the hospital visiting my aunt on her way back from work. As we watched the movie, the sun had already set, and I suddenly heard what I thought was my mom opening the front door. Her footsteps, the dog's excitement, and her presumed trip to the garage for a smoke seemed like a typical evening routine. My boyfriend even noticed and said, "Hey, your mom's home." To which I replied, "Yeah, I know. I thought nothing more of it." However, time passed, and she never came inside. So I decided to check the garage, but the door was locked, which felt strange. I unlocked it and peered inside, only to find it shrouded in darkness. My unease growing, I proceeded to her room, but it was eerily empty. That's when I went outside and realized her car was gone from the driveway, as if it had disappeared into thin air. Puzzled and worried, I called my mom, asking if she had come home and left again. Her response still haunts me to this day. "No, I'm just leaving the hospital now. Why? What's going on?" I shared what happened with my boyfriend, and we were left bewildered. To this day, I can't explain exactly what occurred, but I know for sure that it wasn't my mom who entered her home that night. It's a chilling mystery that lingers in my memory. Has anyone else experienced something similar? Or have any insight into what might have happened?
Okay, that is the end. Thank you to P.A. Nightmares for joining me. I love y'all so much. I'll see y'all for day 7 tomorrow. But remember, it's scary out there. Please like and subscribe.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross